My sister didn't say a single word for 3 years. I thought I understood why. She watched our mother get executed by firing squad right in front of her. It was the trauma, I thought. That's all I believed. But then, at a refugee camp in Thailand, I finally looked through my sister's sketchbook properly. A warehouse, chains, hands reaching from the darkness, and then, a girl curled up under a blanket, the shadow of a man standing beside her. The moment I saw that drawing, I couldn't breathe. What on earth did Subin go through? Why didn't she tell me? No, it wasn't that she couldn't speak. That's when my sister opened her mouth. For the first time in 3 years. Minho, I'm sorry. Sorry? I'm the one who should be sorry for not protecting her. Why was Subin apologizing to me? If I spoke, I knew you'd blame yourself. That scared me more. My sister stayed silent for 3 years to protect me. Because she was afraid I'd break. Because she was afraid I'd go insane with guilt. A 14-year-old girl, alone, swallowing all of that by herself. This is the story of 2 siblings, who passed through hell to reach American soil, not even South Korea. And, this is the story of my sister's real secret that I, her brother, never knew until the very end. My name is Park Minho. That winter, I was 17 and my sister Subin was 14. Haesan City, North Hamgyong Province. A border city where the Tumen River was right in front of us. But to us, that river was just scenery. No matter how bright the Chinese lights shone across the water, it was someone else's world. Our house was on a hillside behind Haesan Station, a single-story mud brick house. In winter, the drafts were so bad the whole family had to huddle under one blanket, and in summer, the roof leaked. So we had to put out buckets. We were poor, but it was still home. Until my father came home drunk. My father was a coal miner. Mother said he used to be a hard-working man. But in my memory, he always reeked of alcohol and stumbled around. I heard he became that way after his coworkers died in a mining accident. But that couldn't justify the violence. Father's fists were usually aimed at Mother. Sometimes at me too. There's a scar above my left eyebrow. I got it when I was 12, from a soju bottle my father threw. That day, I was trying to protect Mother when I got hit. Subin saw it all. She was curled up in the corner of the room, hands pressed over her ears. That's probably when it started, when Subin began talking less and less. Mother made a living selling things at the Jangmadong market. During the day, she sold noodles. At night, she secretly sold other things. USBs loaded with South Korean dramas. I knew what Mother was doing every night. I knew it was dangerous. I knew that if she got caught, she'd be sent to a political prison camp. Mom, please stop doing that. It's dangerous. When I said that, Mother just smiled. Minho, we need to send your sister to university. Subin is smart. She needs to study. North Korea has universities too. But for a family with our Sambar political class it was an impossible dream. Still, Mother never gave up. Subin really was smart. She was always first in her class, and she was especially good at drawing. She could perfectly capture someone's face with just a pencil. Sometimes I'd beg her to draw my face. I don't want to draw your face, Minho. The scar on your eyebrow looks too sad. I remember Subin saying that. Back then, Subin talked. She laughed, she whined at me, she acted cute with Mother. She was an ordinary little sister, until that day, January 15th, 2019. That dawn, I woke up to pounding on the door. Bang, bang, bang. State security. Open the door. I bolted upright. Mother grabbed my hand. Her hand was ice cold, but it wasn't trembling. Minho, take Subin and go out the back door. What about you, Mom? I'll be fine. Go, now. The door burst open. Men in black rushed in. I grabbed Subin and ran out the back. As I ran through the alley, I looked back. Mother was being dragged out. One of the agents had grabbed her by the hair. I stopped. Should I go back? And do what? Minho, let's go. Subin pulled my hand. Those were the last words Subin ever said to me. 3 days later, a notice was posted at the Jangbadong. Anti-state propaganda crime Park Jungi, age 38. Public execution. Location Hesan People's Court. I told Subin not to go. I made her promise to stay home, to never come out. But Subin secretly followed, mixed in with the crowd, without me knowing. That day, the execution ground was packed with people. In North Korea, public executions are a kind of spectacle. It's a horrible thing to say, but it was true. People gathered in groups and whispered. Children ran around. Mother was tied to a post. Without a blindfold, I watched from far away. My legs were shaking so badly I could barely stand. Mother saw me. She found me in the crowd. Our eyes met. Mother gave a small nod. That was the end. Gunshots rang out. 1, 2, 3. I turned away, but Subin watched. From beginning to end. I found out later that Subin had been much closer than me. She saw everything from nearly the front row. She saw Mother's body go limp. She saw the blood seeping into the dirt. I didn't know. When I finally found Subin, she was crouched in a corner of the courtyard, eyes wide open, not saying a word. After that day, Subin stopped speaking. At first, I thought it was just shock. I thought she'd be okay after a few days. But days passed. Weeks passed. Subin wouldn't open her mouth. She didn't speak even when she was hungry. She didn't speak even when she was sick. She just looked at me, and she drew Mother's face. Mother tied to the post. Soldiers with guns. I wanted to tear up all those drawings, but I couldn't. That was Subin's only way of communicating with the world. A month after Mother died, Father died too. He got drunk and drowned in the Tumen River. I don't know if it was suicide or an accident. He just died. I wasn't sad. Honestly, I felt relieved. Now it was just me and Subin. That's when a stranger came to visit. A woman who said she worked with Mother at the Jangbadong. Your mother left this for you. Inside the envelope was Chinese money, and a note. Find Wang Chen in Yanbian, China. He will help you. It was Mother's handwriting. That's when I finally understood why Mother had done such dangerous work. She had prepared for this from the beginning, in case she got caught. She had saved money for us to escape. I made my decision. We had to leave. If we stayed in North Korea, we'd eventually be arrested too. As children of a traitor, we had no future. We had to cross the Tumen River, with Subin, no matter what. The night before we left, I sat in front of Subin. Subin, we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to China. From there, we'll go to South Korea or America. Anywhere is better than here. Subin didn't answer. She just nodded. I held Subin's hand. I'll protect you no matter what. Tears welled up in Subin's eyes. But still, no words. That night, I made a vow. I would protect Subin no matter what. I couldn't protect Mother, but I would definitely protect Subin. But I had no idea how powerless that vow would turn out to be. My sister never opened her mouth after that day. I thought it was just because of the trauma. That was my first mistake. February 3, 2019. 3 a.m. We stood before the Tumen River, 25 degrees below zero. Every breath felt like my nose hairs were freezing. The river was frozen solid, but I had no idea how thick the ice was. One wrong step and we'd drown. I gripped Subin's hand tightly. Her hand was cold as ice. Subin, don't let go of my hand no matter what, okay? Subin nodded. I took my first step. Creak. The ice groaned. My heart nearly stopped. But I couldn't stop. Border Patrol could come at any moment. One step. Another step. When we reached about the middle of the river, I heard dogs barking in the distance. I pulled Subin close and flattened us onto the ice. We held our breath. I could feel Subin's heartbeat against my chest. Thump, 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 racing like crazy. A flashlight beam swept across the riverbank in the distance. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. The light disappeared. I helped Subin up. We started walking again. About 50 meters left. That's when it happened. Crack. The sound of ice breaking under my feet. Run. I grabbed Subin's hand and ran like mad. The cracking sounds chased us. Crack, crack, crack. My foot went through the ice. Freezing water seeped into my shoe. But I didn't stop. Finally, we threw ourselves onto the opposite bank. Chinese soil. I looked back at Subin, panting. She was safe too. Her clothes were wet, but she was alive. In that moment, I cried. Silently, just tears flowing. We did it. We finally made it out. But that was only the beginning. It took 2 days to find Wang Chen, a shabby restaurant in Yanbian. His hideout was on the second floor of an old building, at the end of a back alley. I knocked on the door. Who is it? Park Junggi. My mother sent us. Silence. Then the door opened. Wang Chen was nothing like I'd imagined. A menacing face, gold teeth glinting, missing his left index and middle fingers, cold eyes that looked at people like they were livestock. So you're Junggi's kids. I owed your mother a debt. That's why I agreed to help. I felt relieved. But that relief didn't last long. But the money's not enough. This won't even get you out of China. To reach South Korea, you need at least 3 times this amount. Then, what should we do? Wang Chen's eyes turned to Subin. There is another way. Girls fetch a good price. I pushed Subin behind me. That's not happening. Then what are you going to do? Hide here forever? Or get sent back to North Korea and end up in a prison camp? I clenched my teeth. I'll work. I'll do whatever you tell me. Just don't touch my sister. Wang Chen smirked. Work? What can you do? Anything. Wang Chen lit a cigarette. Fine. But it's going to take a long time. And during that time, I'll be managing this girl. Managing. I knew what that word meant. In that moment, I knew. To this man, we weren't people. We were just merchandise. That night, Subin and I were locked in a room like a warehouse. Cold cement floor, 1 blanket, the door locked from outside. Subin grabbed my hand. She was trembling. I hugged her tightly. It's okay. I'm here. I'll protect you no matter what. Subin didn't answer. She just buried her face in my chest. That night, I couldn't sleep. We had to get out of here somehow. I had to protect Subin, but there was no way. No money. Nowhere to go. No one I knew. I didn't know then. Hell was just beginning. We spent 2 months in Wang Chen's organization. I worked at whatever they gave me, carrying loads, cleaning, running errands. Sometimes I guided other defectors. It was dangerous work, but I couldn't refuse. Subin spent most of her time locked in the room. I tried to stay by Subin's side as much as possible, but sometimes when I went out to work, I wouldn't return for the whole day. Every time, I was anxious. Until I came back and confirmed Subin was safe. My heart felt like it would burst. One night, I came back from work. Subin was gone. The room was empty. I frantically searched for Wang Chen. Where is Subin? Wang Chen waved his hand dismissively. Calm down. We moved her to manage the girl separately. For safety. Where? Take me to her. Now. No. Just do your job. I grabbed Wang Chen by the collar. In that instant, someone struck me from behind. My head felt like it was splitting. I collapsed to the floor. Wang Chen grabbed my hair and lifted my head. Don't get cocky. I'll take care of your sister. If you behave, nothing will happen. Got it? I couldn't say anything. I was powerless. I was furious. That night, I was locked in the warehouse, covered in blood. It was 2 days before I could see Subin again. Subin was different. I asked what happened. Subin shook her head. I can never forget those eyes. Eyes where something had been extinguished, like her soul had left her body. I couldn't ask anymore. I was afraid to ask. It kept happening after that. They would take Subin away, claiming they needed to separate men and women. 1 day, 2 days, sometimes 3 days. I resisted desperately, but I was beaten and tied up every time. Every time Subin came back, I asked, "Did something happen?" Subin would just shake her head, and she would draw on her sketchbook. I didn't look at those drawings. No, I couldn't look, because I was afraid to see. Looking back now, that was my second mistake. 3 months later, an opportunity came. Wang Chen was planning to send another group of defectors through the Laos route. He said we could join that group, pay me back later, work in America and send the money. I knew it was debt. A debt I'd have to pay for the rest of my life even after reaching America. But I didn't care. If we could just escape from here, I agreed. The night before departure, I was able to be alone with Subin. I held Subin's hand. "Subin, we're leaving tomorrow, through Laos to Thailand, then to America. It'll take a long time, but we will make it." Subin didn't answer. I looked into Subin's eyes. "Subin, what happened here?" Subin's pupils wavered. Her lips trembled. But in the end, she shook her head. I couldn't ask anymore. I just hugged her. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you." That was all I could say. Subin placed her hand on my back. Pat, pat, as if comforting me. In that moment, I broke down crying. I said I'd protect her. No matter what happened, I said I'd protect her. What have I done? When my sister came back, I asked, "Did something happen?" Subin just shook her head. Those eyes, I can never forget them. The journey to the Laos border. Our group was 8 people total. Me, Subin, and 6 other defectors. Among them was a woman in her 40s named Sunak. Mrs. Sunak showed interest in Subin from the moment she first saw her. "What's your name?" When Subin didn't answer, I spoke for her. "Subin, she can't speak. She went through trauma." Mrs. Sunak's eyes looked pained. "I see. Trauma." There was something strange in her tone, as if she knew something. During the journey, Mrs. Sunak was always by Subin's side. She brushed Subin's hair. She shared her food with her. One night, I caught Mrs. Sunak looking at Subin's sketchbook. Her hand stopped as she turned page after page. Her shoulders trembled. She lowered her head. She was crying. I approached. "Ma'am, what's wrong?" Mrs. Sunak closed the sketchbook. She wiped her tears and said, "It's nothing." Then she looked straight at me. "Minho, never leave this child's side, okay?" "What? Why?" "Never leave her." Her eyes were so desperate, I couldn't ask any more. I found out later, 10 years ago, Mrs. Sunak had also lost a daughter Subin's age. During the escape, she was sold to a broker. She never found her. Mrs. Sunak saw her daughter in Subin. That's why she wanted to protect her even more. When we arrived in Laos, a problem arose. Wang Chen contacted us. "Border security has been tightened. We need to change the route." The new route was more dangerous. We had to go through the jungle, and it would take twice as long. And the guide changed. The new guide was a Laotian man named Lin. Lin was suspicious from the start. He kept staring at Subin. His eyes were exactly like Wang Chen's. I didn't let Subin out of my sight round Lin. One night, Lin approached me. "Your sister's pretty. How old is she?" "None of your business." Lin sneered. "Don't get smart. Your lives are in my hands. I clenched my fists. I wanted to hit him, but I held back. If I caused trouble here, everyone would be in danger. That night, Mrs. Sunok called me aside. Minho, be careful. That man's eyes aren't right. I know. I'll stay by Subin's side. You go ahead and check the path. I nodded. From then on, Mrs. Sunok never left Subin's side, as if protecting her own daughter. Mrs. Sunok said to me, never leave this child's side. I didn't understand why she said that at the time. The Laos-Thailand border, the Mekong River. We planned to cross the river at night. We split into 2 boats. Subin, Mrs. Sunok, and I were in the same boat. It was a moonless night, only the sound of the river. We were about halfway across. A light appeared in the distance. Patrol boat, get down, Lin shouted. Everyone flattened themselves on the bottom of the boat. The patrol boat's searchlight swept across the water. My heart was about to burst. Then someone in the other boat coughed. The searchlight swung toward us. Stop right there. The loudspeaker, and then gunfire. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Chaos erupted. Lin started the boat's engine. The boat rocked wildly. Mrs. Sunok held Subin tight. Keep your head down. Don't get up. More gunshots. Mrs. Sunok's body shuddered. I saw it. Blood flowing from Mrs. Sunok's back. Ma'am. Mrs. Sunok didn't let go of Subin. Even as blood flowed, she held Subin tight. The boat hit the riverbank. Thai soil. I pulled Subin out. I tried to pull Mrs. Sunok out too. Minho, it's okay, Mrs. Sunok said. There was blood on her lips. Take Subin, and go. You're coming too. Mrs. Sunok shook her head. She looked at Subin. Subin, now, you need to speak. Subin's eyes went wide. Mrs. Sunok smiled, her face covered in blood. It's okay. It's not your fault. You know that, right? And she closed her eyes. I stood there in a daze. Subin was holding Mrs. Sunok's hand. Her lips trembled, like she was trying to say something, but no sound came out. Lin shouted from behind, move. The patrol is coming. I grabbed Subin and ran into the darkness. I didn't look back. I didn't understand what Mrs. Sunok's last words meant. You need to speak. To whom? About what? When we set foot on Thai soil, our group had been cut in half. Only 4 out of 8 survived. Mrs. Sunok was left behind in the river. I hid in the forest with Subin. Subin drew something in her sketchbook all night. At dawn, I looked at the drawing. It was Mrs. Sunok. Mrs. Sunok, smiling. I cried looking at that drawing. Subin didn't cry. She just drew. That was Subin's way of mourning. A Thai immigration detention center. We applied for refugee status as North Korean defectors, but they said the review would take months. If we were unlucky, over a year. Inside the camp was hell. Dozens of people crammed into tiny rooms. Not enough food. Dirty water. Fights every night. Stealing. Deceiving. Threatening. It was daily life. I barely slept, trying to protect Subin. 3 months later, the screening for America began. America had a program that accepted North Korean defectors. I finally understood why Mother had aimed for America. The interviewer was a Korean-American woman. Her name was Jennifer. Jennifer looked at the documents and said, reason for defection, route taken, current status. The basics check out, but there's one problem. I tensed up. Subin needs to testify herself, with her own voice. Subin can't speak, because of trauma. I understand, but according to regulations, personal verification is required. Subin needs to say at least one word for the paperwork to go through. I was devastated. I'll give you time until the next interview. 1 month. If Subin can speak by then, America is possible. 1 month. Just 1 word. Why was that so hard? Every day, I talked to Subin. Subin, just 1 word. Say anything. Even just yes. Subin didn't answer. Why won't you talk? We're safe now. No one is going to take us away. Subin lowered her head. Why won't you talk even to me? What did I do wrong? I shouted. I felt like I was going crazy. Tears fell from Subin's eyes, but her mouth stayed closed. I collapsed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Subin. I cried. I cried in front of Subin. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. Mom, Mrs. Sanak. I should have protected them all. I ruined everything. Subin stroked my head. Silently. Just stroked it. Looking at my sister's tears, I realized. Subin wasn't refusing to speak. She couldn't speak, but that was also my delusion. A week before the interview, a man named Pastor Kim came to the camp. He was a Korean missionary. He said he helped North Korean defectors. Pastor Kim had a gentle face, white hair, always carrying an old Bible. Pastor Kim approached Subin. Do you like drawing? Subin nodded. Can you show me? Subin handed over her sketchbook. Pastor Kim turned the pages. At first, he was smiling, but at some point, his expression hardened. He looked at the drawings in silence for a long time. Then he turned to me. Minho, can I talk to you for a moment? Pastor Kim took me outside. Minho, have you seen these drawings? No. Subin wouldn't show me. Pastor Kim sighed. I think you need to see them. I took the sketchbook. I turned the pages. The first few drawings were ones I knew. Mother, the Tumen River, our house in Hesan. But then they changed. A dark warehouse. Chains. A cowering girl. The shadow of a man standing beside her. And a girl crying under a blanket. Eyes looking down from above. I couldn't breathe. My hands trembled. This is. It looks like what happened in China. Why you didn't know. What Subin went through. My knees buckled. I collapsed. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I know? Every time Subin came back, I asked. Did something happen? Subin just shook her head. I didn't ask anymore. Because I was afraid to ask. Because I was afraid to know the truth. That was my biggest mistake. The final interview day for refugee screening. I didn't sleep all night. I sat beside Subin. Subin, the interview is today. Just 1 word. Anything. Subin didn't answer. She clutched her sketchbook tightly. I held Subin's hand. I'll say everything. You just have to be there. The interview room. Jennifer organized the documents and said, This is the last chance. Subin, can you at least say your name for identification? Subin didn't open her mouth. I grew desperate. Let me explain for her. Subin really can't speak. Because of trauma. I understand. But rules are rules. I'm really sorry. But at this rate, that's when it happened. Subin moved. She placed the sketchbook on the table, and she opened it. 1 page. Mother's face, tied to a post. A gun aimed at her. Another page. The Tumen River. 2 children crossing the frozen river. Another page. A dark warehouse. Chains. A cowering girl. Jennifer's expression hardened. Subin's hand didn't stop. The pages kept turning. Shadows of men. Hands reaching from darkness. Torn clothes. Tears. And then, she stopped at 1 drawing. Subin curled up under a blanket. Another girl lying beside her. 2 girls holding hands. The other girl's face had an X drawn over it. The moment I saw that drawing, I understood everything. Someone had died trying to protect Subin. A defector girl whose name I didn't even know. A girl who had taken Subin's place. I couldn't breathe. Subin. That's when Subin opened her mouth. For the first time in 3 years. Minho. I'm sorry. I couldn't believe my ears. Sorry? For what? Tears flowed from Subin's eyes. If I spoke, I knew you'd blame yourself. I didn't understand what she meant. You always blamed yourself, Minho, for not protecting Mom, for whatever happened to me. You said it was all your fault. If I spoke, you'd find out what really happened. I thought you'd break. That scared me more. All strength left my body. Subin hadn't been unable to speak. She had chosen not to speak to protect me, a 14-year-old girl, swallowing all that pain alone. To protect her brother, she had stayed silent for 3 years. I slid off my chair. I fell to my knees. Subin knelt before me. She took my hand. It's not your fault, Minho. None of it is your fault. But I could endure because you were there, because you were beside me. So stop blaming yourself, okay? I cried. Subin cried too. For the first time in 3 years, we cried together. Jennifer quietly handed us tissues. After a long while, Jennifer spoke. You passed the screening. I looked up. Subin testified herself. That's enough. Start your new life in America, both of you. 3 months later, Los Angeles International Airport, USA. Subin and I stood before the immigration counter. The officer asked, "Purpose of visit?" I was about to answer, but Subin spoke first. "We live here, with my brother." English. She said she learned it at the camp. Pastor Kim taught her. I looked at Subin. She was smiling. It was Subin's first smile in 3 years. The officer stamped our documents. Welcome to the United States. We walked out of the airport. The LA sunshine was blinding. Blue skies I'd never seen in North Korea. No dark warehouses of China. No jungles of Laos. No detention camps of Thailand. Freedom. So this is freedom. I took a deep breath. Subin was standing beside me. I asked, "Subin, since when? Could you speak?" Subin looked up at the sky. "Since the day Mrs. Sunak died." My heart ached. "Why didn't you speak then?" I was scared. I felt like if I spoke, it would all become real. That all those things really happened. But Mrs. Sunak said, "You need to speak." So, I gathered my courage. I took Subin's hand. "You did well, Subin. You too, Minho." We started walking. A strange city. A strange country. Everything was unfamiliar. But I wasn't afraid. Because Subin was beside me now. Because I could hear Subin's voice now. A week later, we settled into a small studio in LA's Koreatown. A refugee support organization helped us. They found us housing and connected us to jobs. I started working as a dishwasher at a restaurant. Subin started going to school. It was hard at first. Our English was poor, and the culture was different. But Subin adapted quickly, thanks to her drawings. Subin took art classes at school. Her teacher recognized her talent. She was even entered into art competitions. One evening, I came home from work. Subin was sitting in the living room, looking at her sketchbook. "What are you doing?" "Organizing my drawings." I sat next to Subin. There was a new drawing in the sketchbook. 2 people holding hands, walking away, under a blue sky, under bright sunshine, and one line written above it. "We survived." I looked at that drawing for a long time. Subin asked, "Minho, do you have regrets?" "About what?" "Defecting." "All of it." I thought about it. We lost Mother. We lost Mrs. Sunak. Subin carries wounds she'll never heal from. So do I. But, no regrets. Because you're here now. Because I can hear your voice. Subin smiled. I don't have regrets either. Why? Because you're here, Minho. We survived. We crossed the Tumen River. We passed through China's hell. We escaped death in the Mekong. And we stood on American soil. We lost so much. but we kept what mattered most. Each other. Mother's note. Find Wang Chen in Yanbian, China. He will help you. Mother must have known how hard that path would be, but she still sent us. Because she wanted us to find freedom. Because she wanted us to survive. Mom, we did it. We survived. Subin speaks again. She even laughs. So, please rest now. Through the window, I can see LA's night view. Subin is doing homework in the other room. Sometimes I hear her humming. Subin's voice. Listening to that sound, I think, so this is freedom. So this is what it means to be alive. Subin came out of her room. Minho, what are you doing? Just thinking. About what? I smiled. What to eat tomorrow? Subin giggled. You're always thinking about food. Because I'm hungry. Me too. Should I make ramen? Yes. I got up and went to the kitchen. While making ramen, Subin and I talked about this and that. School stuff. Friend stuff. What to do tomorrow. Ordinary conversation. I know now how precious that is. While eating ramen, Subin said, Minho, I have a dream now. What is it? An artist? Someone who draws. I put down my chopsticks. That's a great dream. But it seems hard. To become an artist in America. You can do it, I said firmly. You can be anything. I'll help you. Subin smiled. Thank you, Minho. For what? I smiled too. This is just the beginning. A new beginning. Our story doesn't end here. It begins here. The last page of Subin's sketchbook. A new drawing has been added. Two siblings holding hands under a blue sky. A sunlit path stretching into the distance. And one line written above it. Our tomorrow is bright. The end.